Which of your ancestors was the first to join the church, and how were they converted?
Her name was Dorinda Moody, and she was baptized in the fall of 1831. So the church was established in April of 1830, and I think she found the gospel in March of 1831. So it was almost 1 year to the day that the gospel had been restored, that the missionaries found her. This next story takes me to Scotland. President David B. Hay was our mission president. This was the summer of 1964. David O. McKay was our prophet, and he was going to turn, I've forgotten the date, but about September 8th or something was his birthday, and he was going to turn 91 years old. So our mission president, along with the office staff, got creative and decided we would have a program called the Feet of Faith. Now, I've lost the cover. I've been carrying this around for all these years. But it says the Feet of Faith. The Scottish mission will baptize 2 converts for each year of our prophet's life, which means that we're going to baptize 182 people in 40 days, which sounds like it would be impossible to do. So here, that means we'll baptize 182 converts in 6 weeks from August 2nd to September the 12th. His birthday was actually a few days before that. And so our mission president and his staff put this little booklet together, and we're talking about how we're going to do it. And I'll do my part. Full-time missionaries will do 3 converts per team, and the local missionaries will do 1 convert per team. To reach our goal, the tribute will have 30 or more baptisms per week. My friend Jim Ritchie sent me this letter the other day. He was doing some homework, and he recorded this, so I thought I would read this. David B. Haight, our mission president, invited his counselors and then his mission leaders to cause a miracle to happen. He asked us all to unite through synergy, create synergy, and as a tribute to our prophet, David O. McKay, to baptize 182 people in a 40-day time period, 4 more than we ever thought possible. He promised us that if we would live a near-perfect missionary life, as he totally united, that we could make it happen. Then we could sign a scroll and send it to the prophet for his 91st birthday. We united and said we would do it. We followed with this exactness the rules and faith-based lessons for 5 weeks, with only a few days left to cause this miracle to happen. We were far short of our goal, but with President Hayes' promise that if we wouldn't quit or lose faith, that it would happen. When the last week was over and we counted up the results, the Scottish mission, which was half of Scotland, our mission was the Scottish mission, which was Glasgow in the south. The North Scottish mission was Edinburgh in the north. So in our mission, the Scottish mission, which was half of the south, not only baptized more people than any other mission in Western Europe, which was about 15 missions, but we had baptized more than all of them combined. We not only exceeded our 82 goal, but I think every companionship had earned the right to sign the scroll to President McKay. Truly a miracle of synergy that I have never forgotten. And that's my friend Jim Ritchie who wrote that. Jim has been on 10 missions. He's been a mission president. He's been a regional representative, and he's one of my best friends. So that was one of the most faith-promoting experiences that I've had in my life, as we've seen as we met the goal and united as a group of missionaries.
Of all the callings you've had, which one was your favorite and why?
First of all, I would say I've never volunteered for anything, and yet I've had a lot of opportunities that I think totally surprised me that I would ever have these callings. But I think the all-time greatest calling, or not greatest, but most enjoyable calling for me was being a stake president. And I enjoyed that because I got to work with sharp people. The high council were good people. My counselors were good people. The bishops were good people. And I had the opportunity of getting to know the whole state. We had 3,300 people in our stake, which was the Puyallup, Washington South stake. I was called in 1982 by Apostle L. Tom Perry. And he came up to our stake and extended the call. Our stake was actually divided. I was serving as a bishop. I was the junior bishop in the stake. Elder Perry came up with Herb Anderson, who was the regional representative and who had become a good friend of mine. He lived in Olympia, Washington. And together they determined that I guess I should be the new stake president. It was a glorious calling. It really was. I learned a lot about administration. I learned a lot about people. You learn a lot about yourself. The only bad part is you kind of have to know a lot about people's business that sometimes you really don't want to know anything about. But even then, it's a blessing to be able to help people. So I would say being a stake president had to be one of the most enjoyable experiences that I've ever had.
So I've known Dennis and Carolyn for many, many years, since I was a child, and we lived in Washington State together. Many years later, Shannon and I reconnected, we fell in love, and we decided to get married. So we came to Grandpa and Grandma's house to ask for their blessing to be married. It wasn't a traditional thing. I didn't go alone and talk to Grandpa. Shannon and I came together, and we talked to Grandma and Grandpa together, and we sat in this house on a piano bench that's just outside this room where I'm sitting now. You know, I'm nervous, and Shannon's a little nervous, and maybe they were, I don't know. I suspect they knew what was coming and were wondering whether I was worthy of their daughter. But as I sat there and started to communicate, and I started to share with them how much I loved and cared for their daughter, I put my hand on her knee, on the kind of the inside of her knee, casually, and just started communicating. And Grandpa was looking at me in the eyes, and then looked down at my hand on her knee and looked back at me in the eyes. My hand quickly retreated from her knee, and I finished my kind of proposal. But that put me in the, keep your hands off my daughter mode, until you got married. I have a lot of memories like that of Grandpa. He has meant a lot to me, and, as a second set of parents.